Yo, what is up? Welcome back to Wake the Love Up. It's your boy burnellwashburn, sending you all the love, all the good vibes. It is another absolutely gorgeous, magical day to be alive. And I'm feeling really, really good. So I wanted to come on here, share some of my energy with you today. Feeling grateful, feeling stoked, feeling excited and ready to serve and share my gifts with the universe. So thank you for tuning in today, investing in your personal growth. And huge thank you to all of you who have been screenshotting this and sharing it on your Instagram stories and tagging me. I've seen a lot more of that lately. I've seen more people showing love, just in general, shooting me DMs, letting me know specific episodes you're listening to or little takeaways that you're getting. And it's really helping grow the podcast. So please keep that up, even if you've already been doing that every week. Like, I still love hearing from you. I love hearing which parts of the podcast resonate with you. So definitely when you're done listening to this, shoot me a little message or share this on your story. If you haven't yet, please leave a 5-star review if you're listening on Apple Podcasts. That really helps the algorithms show it to more people and get this content to serve the masses in powerful, awesome ways. So thank you guys for showing the love, for helping wake the love up. We're doing some good things. More and more people are getting impacted. So thank you guys so much. Shout out to all my Patreon supporters. You guys are the best. It's like, I love you so much. And some of you guys have been supporting for a long time, every month. And there's not a day that goes by where I don't write your names in my gratitude journal and really feel deep appreciation for your blessings that you bring into my life and all of the lives that you help enrich through the spreading of this work and the supporting of this work. So thank you from the center of my heart. I love you so much. That said, let's jump into today's episode. So the last 3 days or so have been 3 of the most productive days of my life. It's been just mind-blowing how much I've gotten done, and I've been having fun doing it. So I'm putting together a really powerful episode that will be dropping in the next couple of weeks, all about creativity, productivity, how to get more done with less time, less stress, less effort. It's just mind-blowing. You know, I'm stressing less. I'm not grinding. I'm not trying. I'm not struggling. I'm not efforting super hard. I'm more just in this aligned state of overflow where creative output is just pouring through me naturally, and I'm able to just stay super focused and get hella stuff done without it feeling like I'm even working that hard. And you know, the last 3 days especially, I've gotten more done than I normally get done in 3 weeks. So really proud of myself, and I'm putting together an amazing episode all about that. So definitely look forward to that in the next couple weeks. But for today, I wanted to do a quick episode all about how to make life more fun and enjoyable and fulfilling. So life is meant to be enjoyed. It's meant to be fun. And the more we can bring playfulness and fun into it, the better it is for all of us. You know, we get so caught up taking this dream so seriously. And if we really become conscious to what we are, we're so much bigger than this body, this lifetime, these thoughts, these emotions. What we are is so beyond that. It's far too easy to get caught up in social programming and family and just life. And then you start taking things too seriously and getting stressed out and worried and losing that childlike playfulness that we're all born with. If you look at a little child, like, all they want to do is play and have fun and be in their joy. Anything that's outside of their joy, they don't want to do, you know what I mean? And it's little kids know what's up. So, and this doesn't mean, you know, you only do like when you mature, you have fun, but you also do the hard things. You also do uncomfortable things, and that can be part of the fun. So don't get those twisted, but life is meant to be playful and enjoyable and fun. And It's okay for things to be easy. It's okay for things to be fun. We are so conditioned and so programmed into thinking that it needs to be a struggle, that it needs to be hard. I used to think if I wasn't going through hardships, then nobody would have compassion for me. Nobody would respect me. Nobody would really appreciate me because I grew up it just got pounded into my skull that like success is earned through hard work and struggle and sacrifice. And now I'm in a new paradigm where I'm like, yo, things can be fun and playful and easily. And my success mainly comes from how much joy I'm in. The more joy I allow myself to be in, the more successful I become because people are attracted to that energy. I'm in a higher state of creative flow and inspiration because I'm not taking things so seriously and stressed out. I am just loving life and loving myself and loving everyone more because I'm just doing things that make me feel good and I'm having fun. And that's translating into, better health, improved relationships, more dollars in the bank account, etc. And I've noticed that a lot of my friends and a lot of people that I know aren't letting themselves play and have fun and letting their inner child out as much as maybe they could. So I wanted to just remind you and inspire you to unleash that inner child. What does your inner child yearn to do? What feels good? And ask yourself that in each moment. It's time to let go of all these rigid structures and still embracing discipline, still embracing the best choices from the higher self while letting go of the rigidity and the seriousness and allowing things to be more flowy and playful and asking yourself in each moment, what is my highest joy? Is this really what I want to do right now? Is this really what's lighting me up right now? I'll ask myself as I'm recording this podcast right now, what is my highest joy? Actually, this moment is recording this podcast. And if it wasn't, I would literally stop recording and walk in the other room and do something else. Because nobody's making me record this podcast. This is an expression of my joy. This is my dharma. This is my gifts. Dying to be expressed, not dying, living to be expressed through me. And it's my great pleasure and honor and privilege to be able to do this. So ask yourself, what is my highest joy today in this moment? What feels the best, Like I ask myself that all the time when I'm setting my intentions for the next day. It's not just like, what are all these things that I need to get done for other people to make other people happy? And what's all this to-do list stuff? It's more like, what is my highest joy? What is the highest and best, most harmonious usage of my energy? In what ways can I serve humanity and serve the universe? How can I enrich all of the lives and beings around me? How can I have the most fun? What feels right? What feels good? And the more I let myself do the things that are fun, and I drop the old story, the more I reveal the new glory. I think I heard Michael Bernard Beckwith say something like that the other day. He said, like, release the story and reveal the glory. And I love that. I used to have this story that things needed to be hard, and it was a subconscious story. I didn't necessarily think that things needed to be hard, but I was living like that, and I thought that I would be more respected or appreciated or loved if things were hard for me. And especially growing up, I got love and compassion from my mom usually if things were hard. If I went through a difficult situation, if I was a little kid in school and somebody bullied me, or I don't know, like anything happened, I could go to my mom and she would have compassion for me and make me feel better. If I was outside playing and I was just having fun, she kind of ignored me. But as soon as I got hurt and I was bleeding, she just like rushed over to help me out and save me like a good mother should. And I really appreciate her for that. What I didn't realize is that I was developing a story in a program that in order to get extra love and attention, then I need to be hurting in some way. I need to be suffering, because if everything's fine and dandy, then people kind of just ignore me. But if I'm struggling, then people will give me attention. And then that story progressed through my life in so many different ways, and then I started to find, your vibe attracts your tribe. So I attracted all sorts of other people with the same stories, with similar stories. And all of us told those stories together. And, then we got together and we would hang out and smoke or drink or do whatever. And half the time we were talking about all of our hardships and challenges and all the things that we've gone through and how we could relate to each other. And it felt like we were getting this genuine connection. And now that I'm waking up a little bit more, I'm starting to see that it was like more closer to like some trauma bonding type situation rather than genuine heart connection. It was, oh yeah, we're friends because we can relate to the same types of struggles and the same types of stories and limiting patterns. So then when we get together and we really resonate with everything each other says, because yeah, I feel that too, and the same thing happened to me, except for mine was even worse, and like that's all the toxic trauma bonding that tends to happen. We always attract people that have similar stories to the stories we're telling. So if you want to know what kind of stories you're telling, look at all your closest people in your life and listen to how they're talking about their lives. Listen to how they talk about their childhood and how they talk about themselves. Like, you might notice, some of it could be very negative, some of it could be very limiting. And the more you become aware of it, then the more it starts to dissipate and you can start to retell new stories that are more empowering. And what I've really noticed is that as I start to just allow myself to go beyond the comfort zone, to face what isn't working, to try new things, I start to have new experiences which help me write new stories. I start to surround myself with other people that have better stories, like I used to think things need to be hard, so I started following all these people online that were talking about how things can be easy. And all these like great spiritual teachers weren't talking about grinding and hustling and struggling, and that energy helped me when I was like before, when I was kind of lazy and not doing anything. That like helped. I started doing something, but then that even became toxic. And a lot of when we're struggling and grinding super hard, it's usually born out of fear rather than love. Like when we're in playful alignment, we can be super productive out of love, not out of fear. We're not getting a bunch of stuff done because we don't feel hurt, because we don't feel whole, worthy, and complete. We are getting a bunch of stuff done just because we're celebrating how awesome we are and how much love is oozing through us. We just have to share it. So that's a big difference. When we're grinding and hustling and putting forth just tons and tons of effort, it's usually coming from a place of scarcity or fear that we're not good enough, or things are not going to work out, and so we have to put forth massive effort in order for things to go our way. And that's usually just on the lack matrix, in that lack paradigm. So if we catch ourselves just trying way too hard, then chances are we're coming from fear. But I find myself being way more productive than I used to, and it feels fun now rather than like, I gotta get this done and I can't do that because I gotta work. And I used to like turn down fun engagements because I gotta be productive. I was basically like imprisoning myself. The only prison that we're ever in is the one that we create for ourselves, and that's like the toughest prison with the craziest warden, because we don't even know we're in there most of the time. And when we start to like gain perspective beyond these self-imposed prison walls, we start to see like, there's other stories out there that are possible. So I started following these other people that were telling a story of how life could be easy and how you can create abundance just by being aligned with your soul's purpose, and how you can thrive and flourish just by like being in your highest joy and following your bliss. And I was like, that resonates with me deep. Like that resonates with my heart and my soul and my inner child. Like all the other stuff I was doing because I didn't think I was enough. So that's when I was listening to people that were like, you gotta grind, you gotta wake up at 5 in the morning and hustle all day. And I realized that so much of that was born out of me being scared and not thinking I was good enough how I was. And now I'm just like getting way more done than that. And it's in a playful, fun way. And I'm getting better results all across the map, impacting more people, helping more people, feeling more aligned, feeling more free. And it's all because I started telling a new story and I started listening to other people that had stories that I wanted to tell. Stories of how they're just helping people and they're creating abundance. They're just having fun and creating abundance. They're just getting paid to be themselves. I used to think I needed to change who I was in order to, if I wanted to be successful, I needed to be something else. And then I realized the secret to my success was just fully being me, my me-ness, and just unleashing that to the world. So the world needs your gifts. Nobody can deliver them. Nobody can deliver the world what you can deliver it. Not in your unique way, not in your unique style, not in a million years. You are a one-of-a-kind, special gem, and the world deserves you in your highest self, sharing your gifts to the fullest, unleashing your you-ness and your authenticity. That truly is how you're going to make the biggest impact and achieve the most success. You can get results from hustling and grinding for sure, but they are not going to be sustainable or fulfilling unless they're coming from a place of spiritual alignment and joy and when I say things are coming from joy, this doesn't mean that we don't ever do things that are uncomfortable. In fact, some of my highest joy comes from the fact that I love doing the uncomfortable things. I love facing things that are challenging. And I've learned to fall in love with that because of the growth that comes from it and how fulfilling that growth is. Earlier I mentioned this episode was going to be about having a fun and fulfilling life. So of course, life should be more fun, but what we really wanted is a fulfilling life. We want to be on our deathbed feeling good about how we used our energy. It's to look back and say that we had lots of fun. That'll feel amazing, and I want to be saying that on my deathbed. I want to say that was so fun. Holy shit, let's go again. But I mainly want to be fulfilled. I want to feel like my energy was used in a way that benefited others in some type of way. And it's not about legacy, about people remembering me, or about ego, or about what people say about me after I die, or anything like that. I could care less if anyone ever mentions my name after I'm gone. What I want is to just feel like I did the right thing. I was in integrity. I loved. I shared. I played. I laughed. I cried. I grew. And the three keys to fulfillment that I always talk about are progress, connection, and service. So if we're making progress, if we're growing, we're going to feel really good about ourselves. And if we are connecting with others, if we are experiencing that real, genuine connection with other beings, we're going to feel fulfilled. And if we are in service, if we are giving more than we are taking, if we were helping other people's lives, helping the planet, helping the world around us in some way, we're going to feel fulfilled. So I feel like at the end of our life, if we can say, yep, I grew to the best of my abilities, I loved and connected to the best of my abilities, and I served and gave to the best of my abilities, we'll feel really good about ourselves. And I also want to say that I did that in the most fun ways possible. I'm here to grow, I'm here to love, and I'm here to serve, and I'm here to have lots of fun doing it. And it's easy since I know that that's my purpose, my dharma, and that's really the foundation of my whole mission, then it's easy for me to filter all my decisions and everything through that lens. The podcast, the music, the life coaching, the events, all the things that I do are merely just vehicles to drive that mission of growing, loving, and serving. And these vehicles just happen to be the vehicles that feel the most fun for me right now. and it feels like the way that I can serve, based on doing what I can with what I have. So there's lots of different ways that I could share this type of message. I could write books. I could do all sorts of things, and I will write books. Right now, it just feels the most highest joy to do it via podcast. I personally love listening to podcasts. I've probably been listening to like 6 hours of podcasts a day for the past like 5 years, and I've learned so much. And they've absolutely changed my life. So I'm very grateful for this audio content, but it's just one of my vehicles to serve my mission. And another lens which I view everything through is just like, how fun is this? Am I having fun doing it? I want to smile and laugh my way through everything. And the more you can smile and laugh your way through the challenges and hard times, life gets so much easier. So practice it. Next time you drop a glass and it shatters everywhere, instead of getting mad, practice laughing. Haha, look at all that glass everywhere. This will be fun. And there's going to be times you slip and stumble. You just got to keep coming back to love. Keep coming back to playfulness. Keep coming back to remembering that it's a dream and not taking it so seriously, and remembering that it's temporary. We have no idea how long we're here. Any of us could go at any moment. So let's make the most and have fun while we're here, and try not to get worked up over small things. It's going to happen. There's going to be, for me, if I haven't slept right or eaten right or something like that, then I'm more liable to get irritable on something petty. For the most part, if I'm in spiritual alignment and I'm taking good care of myself, I can laugh my way through anything. Just literally right before I recorded this podcast, I had a bag full of nuts and seeds, like some hazelnuts and some pecans and cashews and whatnot. And I went to go put them away, and there was a hole in the bag, so they just went everywhere, dropped on the floor and just scattered everywhere. And I just immediately started laughing. And I there was this one tiny little voice in my head. There's oh, I gotta clean that up now, and then I gotta, and then I, almost went on a slightly negative loop for a brief second, and I just caught it, and I said, and I have a name for my lower self, and so I called my lower self by his name, and it made me laugh super hard, and then I had a humorous, fun time picking up these nuts and seeds, and it did not affect my day in a negative way at all. In fact, it was enjoyable. I'm glad it happened, because it gave me an extra chance to laugh, and it helped inspire this episode. That's actually one of the tips that I want you to take away from this episode, is nicknaming your lower self. I nickname my higher self too. I have lots of nicknames for myself, but when you start to come up with these nicknames and these characters for these different aspects of your personality, and then you stop to identify as the personality so much, because we're really not the personality, we're the one observing it. And it's just so silly when you start to when you're fully identified as a certain person, you take things are heavy and serious. But if you can come up with little nicknames for these different kind of traits that you sometimes embody, it can feel more laughable, more moldable, more shiftable. So nickname your higher self and your lower self. My higher self is young Bernie Gold. Young because I'm young and childlike and playful and healthy. Bernie because I got this fire burning inside of me. And gold because I'm just staying gold, and I'm on the abundance wealth frequency and the divine angelic frequency. Young Bernie Gold, what's up? And then my lower self, his name is Bebop, because that just cracks me up. I don't know why. I randomly called myself Bebop one day, and I just started busting out laughing in the mirror because I was taking life way too seriously, getting caught up, and then I caught myself observing it, and I said, okay, Bebop, and then I just busted out laughing. And so now anytime I catch myself getting stressed or worried, I'm just like, oh, okay, Bebop, and I kind of tease him a little bit in a loving way. You gotta be careful not to haze yourself, not to disempower yourself, because our language creates our reality, and how we perceive ourselves and define ourselves as creating who we are. So be careful with this one, but have fun with it. I only do it just to make myself laugh. I don't try to put down Bebop. Like, Bebop's the homie. I love him. He's young and he's silly, and he just, like, if he was like a cartoon character, he'd be like the one that just always gets like stressed and worried and takes things way too seriously, and he's like always in his head and just like forgets his divinity and forgets how powerful he is, and lets things like stress him out. And it's just funny because like he doesn't always see the higher perspective. So I just laugh at him. I'm like, okay, Bebop. And then as soon as I laugh at him, he sees the higher perspective and he kind of laughs with me. And I can laugh. And I'm not really laughing at him. Like, me and him are laughing together. We're laughing. He's laughing that he got caught up in that shit too. And he's grateful that I pulled him out. And I'm, you know, loving him equally as much as all parts of myself. So, but it does just crack me up anytime I'm stressed or just worked up about something petty, especially. I'm like, all right, Bebop, how are you gonna handle this one? And like, it's just so hard to like react in a negative way after I've like called myself Bebop and affirmed that that was my lower self trying to act out, or that was the ego trying to talk. And so, yeah, it's really fun, and I urge you to come up with a name for your higher self and your lower self. One of my mentors calls her higher self is Catherine fucking Zinkina, because she's just a powerful, badass boss babe, and she knows what's up. And so she's like, I'm Catherine fucking Zinkina. What? And that empowers her when she talks to herself like that, or when she needs a little boost from herself. Maybe she's like feeling nervous or something and she needs to call upon some higher energy. She's like, all right, wait a minute, I'm Catherine fucking Zinkina, let's go. And you just remind yourself who the fuck you are. Can be really powerful, can help you take, not be so caught up in the identity. It's fun to have these identities. It's just like you don't want to be wrapped up and trapped as the identity. It's fun to pretend that I'm a human. It's fun to pretend that I'm a man. It's fun to pretend that I'm this person called Burnell. But I just don't want to get trapped in the illusion of thinking that that's all I am. So have fun with it. Remember, life is but a dream. Might as well row that boat just a little more merrily down the stream and do what feels good. Another thing that really helps me take life less seriously is just being out in nature. Observing nature, you start to see the vastness of outer space and just plants and animals and insects and things, and you're like, whoa, this is just such a big cosmic picture that what I do in this one little human life is, it affects everything, but it's not something that I need to like have it weigh so heavy down on me. It's like I can relax. I can chill. I look at animals and they're just being. They don't feel like they need to be anywhere or do anything or accomplish anything in order to feel loved. Like, does a butterfly feel like it's a better butterfly if it built a 6-figure company before age 20? And but humans do. It's so funny. Like, if you look at all animals, they're just being, just doing what they're naturally designed to do. So when I observe them, I realize, like, okay, I can relax. I can just be. I don't need to always be doing stuff. I don't need to always be accomplishing anything, and I don't need to change anything. I just am. And that's enough. And that's totally enough for me to be loved and worthy of all the blessings. We get so programmed into thinking that we have to like earn blessings and we have to like earn things by accomplishments and things that we do. And that really couldn't be further from the truth, because we are everything. And the more I observe nature, it heals me in so many ways, up-levels me in so many ways. I just love being out in the streams and the mountains and the deserts and the oceans and the jungles, because I see the vastness of everything. And even just looking at outer space, I'm like, wow, this universe is so gigantic and infinite that that little bill that I was stressed about that's coming up next week, or that little thing that so and so said to me on Facebook, like that doesn't even matter. That's so petty. And if you scale your perspective out to the bigger picture, like there's really like no problem in the eyes of the universe that's like a big problem. And that's a big issue. Yes, there's lots of ways that we can grow, lots of opportunities to grow and improve, and the universe is always for that. But we don't need to like struggle and work hard and achieve things in order to have a good life. We can just simply just be and just allow the good life. Just go out in nature and just allow the natural bliss to emerge. Sit in silence and allow the natural bliss to emerge. So much of our suffering is just from being in the head so much and being caught up in what everyone else thinks of us. And if we can quiet down that mental chatter just by going outside, by getting in nature, by quieting the mind, by practicing a lot of these different spiritual modalities, a state of natural bliss just emerges. And I know it's not really a big secret. I feel like people are always asking how I'm so positive and how I'm so happy, and they wish their life could be as fun and happy as mine. And it's like, I feel like a lot of people think that my happiness comes from like how like successful my music has been, or because I get paid to do what I love, or because I have an awesome daughter. She definitely contributes. And those things can contribute, but I feel like my main sense of bliss is just I've found ways to shut off the ego mind. I've found ways to quiet down the mental chatter and just observe it. And when I'm just sitting in nature, like it doesn't take much to make me stoked. I can just watch a bird or look at a tree and just be so filled with joy and happiness, it's unreal. I can sit there and look at a stream and it's like, yo, I don't need anything else in that moment. In this moment where I'm sitting here watching this hummingbird or watching this stream flow by, like there's nothing else I desire. I'm just here now, having fun, enjoying it. And the more I do that, the more this state of natural bliss and gratitude and joy just builds up and compounds and expands and just becomes my way of life. So if you're not as happy and joyful as you'd like to be, and you're not meditating, and you're not going out in nature, those are two of the reasons why. I highly recommend getting yourself out in nature way more often, and I highly recommend practicing meditation every day if you can, multiple times a day if you can. And if you never go out in nature, start with just once. Just go to a park and take your shoes off and barefoot ground and sit in the sun for 5 minutes. I'm a big fan of starting small to win big. You don't need to set out all right, I'm going on a 6-week backpacking trip now. Like a lot of people are just, overcomplicating things and making things too hard on themselves, so then they don't want to get into it. They don't want to try meditation because they think it's going to be hard and difficult, and it might be at first, but you can make it fun and easy on yourself. There's so many different ways to meditate. You could say, all right, from now on for 5 minutes, I will sit down and just listen to a song. It doesn't even need to be any type of meditation song. It could be whatever song you want. I'm just going to listen to a song and be fully present listening to that song. Not going to look at my phone, not going to look at anything else, just going to listen and just chill for that 3 minutes. Boom, you just meditated. Good job, It can be that easy. It doesn't need to be this strenuous thing that you make so difficult. And I feel like a lot of times when we're scared to start new habits that are good for us, it's because we're trying to make it too hard on ourselves, and we think we need to be perfect at it or whatever. It's like just start small in a fun little easy way that feels good to you, and keep building it and expanding it. Another thing before we wrap up this episode that's helping me take life less serious and have more fun is I'm just really reconnecting with my inner child, like things that I liked to do as a kid. I'm rewatching all my favorite childhood movies. When Disney Plus came out, I had a field day. I was watching stuff that I hadn't seen since the early mid 90s, and it was just bringing me back. It was like bringing back all these vibes and memories that I kind of had suppressed. Like I was watching Brink on Disney Channel. It's like this movie about this rollerblader dude that I used to be obsessed with when I was a little kid. And it just like got me so stoked. And Johnny Tsunami about this like surfer dude from Hawaii that has to move to the Vermont and learn how to snowboard. And like, these were my favorite movies when I was a little kid. And like just those brought me back into some vibes. Watching Xenon about this girl who lives in a space station. Like all these fun old Disney movies brought me back. And then when I was over at my buddy's house, and he had a tech deck, which is like a little mini skateboard that you play with your fingers. They used to be really popular when I was a kid. I used to love playing with tech decks, these little finger skateboards. And I would sit there for hours just doing little tricks and entertain myself and loving it. And I saw that my homie had one, and I was like super stoked and asked him if I could play with it. And he's like, yeah, man, that's to keep me grounded and like remind me of my inner child, and so I don't take life so seriously, and I remember to like have fun and be a kid. I was like, that's super, super dope. So maybe you can do that. Surround yourself with little toys or little fun things that remind you of your inner child, because I look at my daughter and it's like I don't ever want her to grow up. Like I'm going to be sad when she doesn't want to play Barbies anymore. Right now she plays this thing called LPS, Littlest Pet Shop, and she's obsessed with these little like random pet figurines, and she makes these extravagant setups and little worlds with them, and she loves it. And I'm 29 and I have fun playing that with her. So that creative, that imaginative, playful side of us never actually goes away. We just are trained and programmed to suppress it, because as soon as we start getting older, it's like our parents start telling us to grow up and take life more seriously, and you know better than that, and like, and then things get busy, life happens, we start to just put aside our inner child because we don't have time to play anymore. We got to be busy, we got to be paying bills. Like I swear, throughout most of my in my early 20s, a lot of homies wanted to play and party and have fun. And then as I got to my later 20s, I noticed that a lot more friends, mid 20s to late 20s, were like way too worked up about life. It's like they needed to just always be working. And I still have lots of friends like that because they want to buy a house. Like buying a house is like the number one thing in the world for everyone for some reason. And it really, like, you got to ask yourself, like, where's that programming coming from? Like, we've been so conditioned to thinking like that's how you're successful, and you need to be married and have a house and a car and all these things. And have you really gone within to decide, is that really what you want? Or would you rather live off grid? Would you rather live in a van? Would you rather just like, there's so many different things that you might want, but you've been programmed to like put your wants aside and go for what's going to make your family happy or society happy or what your ego thinks other people are going to respect. And so we start taking life so seriously, and you got to work all the time. Like there was a period of time, like now I've manifested some more like similar minded friends who are more free and spontaneous and have that flexibility like I do. But I've spent 10 years or 12 years creating a lifestyle to be this flexible and free, and I didn't accept any other lifestyle. That's the problem with most people, is they accept a different lifestyle. They accept something less than what they know they really want, and I think that was my biggest strength, is I just like wasn't willing to accept it. I would rather, and I did, face all the hardships in the world and go through every challenge under the sun rather than accept something that wasn't meant for me. I just couldn't do it. So like, you'll get in life what you tolerate. We get in life what our standards are, and my standard is that I get to set my own schedule, and I get to do what I want, when I want, with who I want, where I want. And I'm not saying that to be arrogant. I'm saying that to just say it's possible for you too. If I can do it, anyone can, for real. And it's all about what you accept and what you tolerate in life. So many people just tolerate slaving away at this job that doesn't actually value them, that doesn't actually help them grow, that doesn't actually value their soul and their heart, and doesn't honor their creativity. And if you have a great job that does value you and respect you, awesome. If you have a side job that is helping you pay the bills while you build up another business that does value you, or you find something better, then that's awesome too. But just don't get trapped forever like a lot of people do. It's why so many people are on antidepressants and anxiety medication and just overeating and just in terrible relationships and all this, because they choose, or they allow themselves to be on a path that wasn't meant for them. That's not their dharma. That's not their soul's purpose. That's not the highest expression of their energy. So then they live life extremely unfulfilled, and then if you're unfulfilled, it's easier to, you're just going to put whatever in your body. You're just going to hang out with whoever wants to hang out with you. You're just going to, you're not going to have as high of standards for anything because you don't love yourself as much. Because, but when you're really fulfilled and you're really on path and you have a big mission, it's easier to make higher self choices, things that are going to get you there. You don't really want to do anything that's going to take you away from that. And I really am I can't remember where the quote comes from. I think it's in A Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. I'm not 100% sure, but it says life will pay you any price you ask. So you ask life for a quarter, you'll get a quarter. You ask life for a billionaire lifestyle, you'll get a billionaire lifestyle. And when I say ask, it means really believing that you're worthy and then going for it. But most people just accept the mundane. They just accept what they've been programmed and conditioned into, and then they wonder why they're unsatisfied with life. And it makes me sad. That's why I'm out here preaching this message right now. There's just so much magic and fun available on this earth. Why would we allow ourselves to unnecessarily suffer? Because most of the people, if we're suffering, we're not really helping people. We're not really doing anything good for anyone. The best way we can help the whole collective is to be in our highest joy and to be fulfilled and to be healthy and to be overflowing. Then we can share, because we can't give anything that we don't have. We can't share that which we don't embody. So it's all about filling ourselves up to where we're overflowing and we can go serve. And part of the ways that we fill ourselves up is by doing what feels good to us, by taking good care of ourselves, by treating ourselves right, and allowing ourselves to just be playful and fun. I think that's a big part of loving myself, is I deserve to have a fun life. I really believe that fundamentally, that I incarnated as, I believe that I am God incarnated as this person called Burnell, and that's just one of the ways that I have physically manifested to express this divine energy. And I didn't come here to suffer and have a shitty life. I believe that I came here to face certain challenges and to grow a lot, and there's certain karma and certain dharma and everything that's things that are necessary for me to grow through and to go through. And I believe the universe is often preparing us for that which we want. When you have a big desire, sometimes things can get hard, and that's the universe's way of preparing you to handle that. I had this big dream of being able to be a life coach and serve a lot of people and make lots of money and have a podcast that was successful and all these things. And in order for me to get that, the universe gave me a series of really tough challenges, and I overcame them one by one, and each of them were very important in helping me grow to get to where I am now, to where I can serve. So I do believe that pain and suffering and all that is a big part of life, but I don't think that I was meant to just have it be hard all the time. I think I really believe I deserve to have a fun, fulfilling life, filled with joy, filled with magic, filled with blessings. And really, the challenges and all the lessons are blessings just as much as the fun times are, if not even more. I think there's a quote that says success is a lousy teacher and failure is the best teacher. So I'm not trying to avoid any type of things that aren't fun, but I'm allowing myself to maximize the fun. I want to laugh as much as possible, play as much as possible, enjoy people's company much as possible, do things that just feel good, and spread love. And I deserve it, and so do you. So I'm consciously setting the intention to do things that are fun for me and to just be the joy. Like one of my affirmations is that I bring joy into all I do. I bring joy, and sometimes I say playfulness too. I bring joy and playfulness into all I do. And if you just have that mantra every day, it really helps guide you when you're getting on a business call, or you're at the DMV, or you're filling up gas, or you're cleaning your house. You can do it serious, or you can do it playful. You can do it stressed out and rushed, or you can do it relaxed and fun. It's up to you. Every task that we do, it's like they say, before enlightenment, you chop water and carry wood. After enlightenment, you chop water and carry wood. So there's always got to be things that we don't necessarily like to do in life. And we always have the opportunity to do them in fun ways. We don't have to do them in a stressed out way if we don't want to. And I wish I would have gotten this years ago, because there were so many things that I didn't want to do, and I resisted them so much, and I made them hard on myself. I could have done the same trip to the DMV in a state of joy and playfulness, and had that 2 hours of my life could have been way more fun, rather than just like feeling like it was a waste, or feeling like it was a dull part of my week or something. So bring playfulness and fun into all you do. Remember, the 3 keys for fulfillment is growing, loving, and serving. When we're making progress, we feel good. When we're connecting with others and loving them, we feel good. And when we are serving humanity and serving the universe, enriching the world around us, we're feeling good about ourselves. So those are the 3 keys to fulfillment, and we want to be fulfilled in the ways that are the most fun, and we want to serve humanity in the ways that feel good to us, that light up. So you want to be excited to wake up every day, like I am. I get so stoked to work on all the things that I get to work on. I've been ultra productive, like I said, the last 3 days, and it's all been really enjoyable. I've had a blast. It's been like the most fun 3 days of my life, and it's been just as fun as like some other like things that I did that were just purely for fun, like going on vacation or going river rafting or something like that. So sometimes being just like productive and getting work done can be like the most fun thing if it's part of your dharma and your mission and you feel like it's fulfilling you. It's like I just have like this infinite pool of energy always streaming through, always helping me get a lot done. So I'm definitely going to make a whole episode on productivity and creative flow here in the next couple weeks. Look out for that for sure. For now, I hope you just choose to consciously bring more fun and playfulness and start to tell a new story about how things get to be easy for you. No one's going to actually respect you or love you more if your life was hard. I used to think that if like I didn't want anything handed to me, I didn't want anyone to help me. I wanted things to be hard, because then I thought then I could tell this story like this. I've actually heard it called martyr syndrome. You're the martyr, you're like you had to suffer, you had to go through challenges to get here, so people should respect you and love you more because look at all you went through to be here. And I used to martyr syndrome the hell out of myself. I used to like always try to tell a story about how difficult everything was. So I don't really tell anyone about any difficulties in my life right now. And if like I'm not hiding anything or pretending or faking the funk in any way, I'm just like not focusing on that because it doesn't really seem important. It's just fun challenges and blessings that I'm flowing through. Versus my older self was always like telling stories about if I met up with a homie, I had to tell him all the hardships that I had faced since the last time I saw him and all the most challenging things that I went through, and I wanted him to like feel bad for me or feel compassionate for me or respect me for overcoming it or something. I wanted some type of validation or approval from some outside force, and now that I'm letting go of all that, I'm just like my life's fun and easy. Making money's fun and easy. Being healthy's fun and easy. Having good relationships is fun and easy. Making an impact is fun and easy. Growing my business is fun and easy. I'm thriving and it's fun and easy. And the better it gets, the better it gets. It just keeps getting better and better. So that's the new story I'm telling, and I love this story so much more because it's just so much more fun, and things are really more fun and easy. Like, so sounds kind of silly to even say out loud, but it's just as I observe the old story versus the new story, I'm like, yep, our external reality really does match the story that we're telling. So it's not the other way around. We think we're telling a story just, oh, this is just how things are. I'm just describing how things are. But we're not describing things, we're creating things. And we often have it backwards. We think, life has to be a certain way and then we can tell a new story. And actually, it's the other way around. We got to tell the new story first, and then our life will shift. Then the external circumstances will mirror the story that we're telling. So if you're telling like my homie, bless his heart, messaged me on Instagram today and said something to the effect of, I'm knee deep in financial struggle right now. And he was trying to be positive. He was like, I keep coming back to like gratitude and coming back to my breath. And I was really proud of him for that. I just noticed something and I called him out as a loving homie. And I said, only thing that you're knee deep in is a limiting story, which is actually a false story, and it's actually an illusion. You are abundance. You are infinitely powerful. You're not knee deep in financial struggle. That's just a story that you're telling. And I said, just pause for a minute and repeat that phrase back to yourself, and then just ask yourself, what kind of reality is a statement like that creating? If I say, I'm knee deep in financial struggle, what kind of reality is that creating? Versus, I am learning new ways to be more and more abundant. That could be a way more empowering way to look at it, If he might not be ready to say, like, I create abundance easily, or making money's fun and easy. He might not be ready there yet because he's still deep in this story of how money's a struggle and how he's knee deep in this struggle. And it's going to be hard to get out of it. He might not be able to go from like there to here that quickly, but he can start working his way up and just say something a little bit more empowering. Rather than saying I'm knee deep in a struggle, he could say I'm overcoming a struggle. That's even a little bit better. It still talks about the struggle, so I wouldn't personally use that, but you get the idea. You're at least softening the statement and working your way up to a more empowering statement. Because our language doesn't describe our reality, it creates our reality, and it's not defining it, it's designing it. And I just catch so many people, including myself, just caught up in these illusions, these small stories, and we're too big for these small stories. We are God, we are so powerful. This is like, let's drop the story and reveal the glory. Life really can be fun and magical and filled with blessings. Yes, there will be challenges. Yes, there will be things to work through. But it really can be fun and joyful and blissful and, beyond your wildest dreams. And you deserve it. There's not a single reason anyone could prove to me why they don't deserve it. It doesn't exist. You deserve it just because you are. Like I mentioned, go observe nature and think about, like a butterfly or a hummingbird or a bear or anything. Does a bear think about like whether it deserves to eat a fish or not? It's like our consciousness messes us up, it's funny how much we overthink things, and if we start to just quiet that down and observe nature and be like nature, because we are, things get a lot more fun because we're not taking it so seriously and we're not caught up in these illusions of whether we deserve things or don't deserve things, or whether things can be easy or hard. We're just in the flow, living in the moment, doing what feels good, following our joy, and things get so much better. Like, you can create a reality right now easier than you think, where you get paid tons of money to do what you love in ways that help other people, in ways that bring you joy, in ways that are harmonious with the planet and that are sustainable. So don't get caught up in a small story of anything less than that. You are so much powerful, more powerful than you could ever realize. And the more you wake up to that power, the more you start to tell new empowering stories about yourself and about how your life is, the more your external circumstances will start to mirror and match that. Highly, highly, highly recommend taking more time to meditate, taking more time to sit out in nature, and let those old stories collapse. Let those old stories leave you. Let go of anything that doesn't serve anymore and start to tell new stories. Start to surround yourself with people who are telling stories that you want to, like I said, life is but a dream. Dream it how you want to dream it. Have fun. Make the most of it because it's all temporary and we don't know what's going to happen after this. We don't know how long we're going to be here. And if we really look at just how infinite everything is, it's like, why are we getting so caught up in the smallest little thing? Let's take a deep breath, go out in nature, roll around in the mud, play with some sticks, unleash the inner child, do whatever feels good, and be in the flow each moment. Ask yourself, is this my highest joy? And if it is your highest joy, chances are that's also the thing that's going to help you serve the most, which is going to help you be the most successful, which you're going to be so fulfilled. And if we're really embodying a state of joy, everything's going to come easier to us because clients, colleagues, people will want to be around us more. We'll naturally attract opportunities and blessings because that energy is contagious. When you're happy and healthy and thriving, it's like a magnet. Everyone wants to be around you and work with you. So cultivate that inner joy, unleash that inner child, and go do something fun. When was the last time you just did something just for fun? I'm doing it all the time I have some instruments throughout my house. Before I recorded this podcast, I just grabbed a flute and played flute for 20 minutes and I was just laughing and it felt fun to I didn't need to be productive or getting anything done, or in that 20 minutes, I was probably in the middle of something else, but I just saw the flute. It felt fun. So I played it and it was highly enjoyable. And I feel like those little spontaneous moments like a child would do, just that fun little child play, really is needed for our healing and our up-leveling in so many ways. So go have some fun the rest of your day. Schedule some fun things. Start making joy a priority. One of the cards that I pull out of this Super Attractor deck by Gabrielle Bernstein quite often says, when I make joy a priority, support, guidance, and wisdom naturally emerge, or something like that. It basically says when you're making joy a priority, the universe helps you. Everything you need will start to conspire in your favor when you are prioritizing your own joy, because if God just wants to express itself as you and experience life as your unique expression, I would think it wants to have some fun, and it deserves to have some fun, so let it. I love you so, so, so much. Go create an amazing, fun rest of your day. If you haven't left a review, make sure you leave a review. Check out the Patreon page, patreon.com/burnellwashburn. If you want to support, you can also just Venmo me $5 or something like that. You're like, hey, I like this episode. Here's $5. I don't know. I'm open to stuff like that. And I love how our soul tribe is connecting with each other and supporting each other in all the ways that we can. And we are going to keep waking the love up, keep helping people rise, and keep having fun while we're doing it. So thank you for everything you're doing to make this world more fun. And I will see you on another episode hella soon. Peace and blessings.